direction of rugby. St. Thomas's, ball in the hand. Wesley, good vision, good continuity, good offloading, good pace, good support. They've been playing that really, really well. And you've seen that. We've been commentating on games. And Trinity and St. Thomas's and Wesley and Kingswood, of course, in another class, a league apart. Ball at the back of that line out. Good set ball for St. Peter's. Not a lot of momentum there from the number 3 coming in. And that's Desmond Wilson. Now hands. Oh, just a little crossover as the fly half, Dilshan Kumara Peruma. Just a little bit of...
Sean, what was that? Was it an obstruction? I thought it was a deliberate obstruction which the referee spotted it on time.
I think referee Nimal was right on the spot, Ravi, and more important, it looked like a little professionalism, perhaps. But I think the centre just overran. So it was...
I think he slightly overshot the mark and, obstructed the defence. I think if he ran a little wide, that would have been a good three-quarter ploy.
It would have looked like a very good three-quarter ploy, and Martis would have taken the credit for it. But unfortunately, Madisha Silva and Tuan Medin, those are the two centres for St. Peter's, unable to just do the alignment right. The telegraph not working from the number 10. The called move didn't work at the end there because they all ran sideways and then drifted in front. Well stolen. Very well stolen there. Good ball from the back now. The number 9. There you go. Stepping inside. Good link. Continuity there. No offers. Yes, well cleaned up. So St. Peter's now arriving in numbers and driving up the park.
Ball going on the blind side.
Very good. Nice to see. Continuity. Very good bounce. Thank you very much. Try St. Peter's. Very nice bounce, Ravi, there, sitting up. That's the sort of bounce that centres and three-quarters dream about. Have a look at this.
That is a copybook. That was number 12, centre three-quarter, Madisha Silva.
And the collection very nicely sitting up there for the centre three-quarter. And, of course, nightmare for the full-back, the Ananda full-back, who failed to collect. And a very good call would have said, my ball, and he would have got underneath that. He didn't do that. And that's why St. Peter's were able to just run, take the ball, and run unchallenged underneath the post. Thank you very much.
Sean,
5 points up.
Sean, the coaches also have this, situation where they can teach the three-quarter, especially to kick for the ball to rebound. That is also an art you can master if you are good at. And I remember in your playing days, Sean, I think Sujanta Kumar used to do that, and you scored many tries of the rebound kicks.
Ravi, very well said, mate. And we just sort of rewind the tape and start the clock again. Little Sukuma, when he captained Royal College and then joined up with CHNFC, certainly brings back wonderful memories. Had an innate ability to bounce the ball just right. It's the weight with which you kick. It's the way you kick it and the way it bounces. Of course, it's not easy to predict, but if you let it sit up like it just did there for St. Peter's, things can happen because you're running at pace and you hit the ball at pace. St. Peter's have just scored. Ananda, if you're joining us here on ITN Live, the Singer A Division clash on Saturday by the School by the Sea. Collected. Very well collected and having a go. Nice to see. Driving up the line. Hitting up, setting up. Good clean out. Here comes St. Peter's. Back to the number 10.
Sajid Tadikara using his weight there, Sean. I think it looks as if the St. Peter's have got a good forward, a good heavy pack with some hefty forwards. I think if they use that more often, they can create opportunities here. They have very good, I think, looks very strong in the up front. The very big prop there.
The big fat 8 boys certainly look very strong, and I think they eat more than one sandwich at home for sure.
You can't blame them, Sean. That is part and parcel of rugby players. You need to feed them and keep the calories up for hard games, especially at this time of the evening and these climatic conditions. It is important that the boys have to be fed properly and a lot of nourishment and a lot of fluids to keep the game going.
Well, yes, Rob, we understand that there is such an important factor in terms of the nutrition. They need to address the muscle tissue and the muscle factor. They need to make sure that there's muscle mass. And that's how you feed muscle. They talk about feeding muscle. I should get my friend Talo Alilema to come in here and he'll tell us all about how to maintain the balance. Talo, of course, good friends of ours and very much the the chairman of Power World, and a man very, very keen on developing Sri Lankan sport, not just in terms of performance, but also supplying performance in terms of muscle building. We'll talk about that. And you were talking about muscle mass, and in terms of nutrition, Ravi, it's about protein and feeding the muscle and keeping the weight up. You need to balance up the fat, the carbohydrates, and the protein. Those are the three important factors. We'll come to that as Ananda take very good ball.
Penalty against St. Peter's on the 10-meter line. Ananda going in for they have decided to take a kick at goal.
Well, might be a sensible move on their part because they feel they need to get points on the board.
Oh,
St.
no,
Peter's.
they have decided against it. They are going for a corner. They are going for a touchline kick so that they can use it, use the advantage of putting the ball back in the line out and looking for some opportunity there.
That's good. Touch judge Tony Vimalasuriya. What a great player he was in his day, Ravi, as a fullback and fly half for Air Force. Now running touch, keeping the flag, of course. Nice to see all of these big-time rugby players getting back into the game, putting something back in coaching and in technical skills. Ananda.
Ball coming around the way. They are driving through. Let's see whether they can go through. Pushing. St. Peter defending with their forwards.
Reverse angle on live action. He's just gone behind him. We don't know what the hell is happening. Ball. Come on, Peter's ball. Must not cut. Only on replay go to reverse angle. On live action, keep on the camera on live.
St. Peter's put in. St. Peter defending inside their 25. Let's see whether they could hold this and get the ball to touch. Ball coming out. They have got touch about just 20 inside the 25-meter line. Line out ball. Ananda will throw in, and let us see whether Ananda could use this line out to score, to make a scoring opportunity.
Dinimal just adjusting the alignment, the position, and here's Anand the ball now again. Rav, you're going to talk us through this.
They are pushing Sean. They have got a number 2 ball there, and they are driving on the blind side. I could see, and it's a big forward going through. Ball coming out, ruck ball. He dived, he went through and allowed the ball to come out this way, but have they lost the ball?
Inches short, Ravi, inches short, desperate. 10-meter scrum, still to Ananda for driving forward.
They almost lost that ball, Sean. There was no adequate support there, but lucky the big forward was able to get that ball back to Ananda's side. So they have got the ball back again. It will be their put in, Ananda put in. Number 9, Udisha Dasanayaka.
He just kisses that ball, hoping for some blessings. Let's see if the blessings will work for him. I see this more and more often these days, Ravi, that players tend to kiss the ball before they put it into the scrum. I'm not sure where that has come from.
It just must be a sort of traditional thing, Sean. Maybe people, look at the superstitious situation. The number 8 break there. Has he gone over?
No, he hasn't.
He had
Very
been
well
held.
taken out.
Still held, coming out on the way.
Is it turnover ball? No, Ananda still. The big number 8, the number 25. Who is that, Ravi?
That is Harsha Rangana, the second row forward.
He's a big lad, but just couldn't get enough momentum to push the pit right traffic out of the way and make himself space to get over the line. Still, pressure ball here as referee Nimal says, come on, get up. You can hear him saying, come on, get up. It looks okay, the number 17.
They come inside, every penalty try. You come inside, every penalty try.
Oh, there D. Nimal saying that if you come on the side and obstruct that, he will be giving a penalty try. It's a good warning.
That's a very, very harsh warning, and referees can do that.
Ananda mocking up a sort of a fake defense there, and they are the ball coming out Ananda way. They are looking at a scoring opportunity. St. Peter defending all out. Oh, that was a terrible pass.
Could have been a very costly pass there, and St. Peter's read that nicely. The centre 3/4 just waited his time, but just couldn't get his hands right. If you see the replay of that, it was very well telegraphed by Ananda. You could see it a mile away. What he was planning to do is running sideways. Oh, gift lost.
Sean, that is another thing which schoolboys make this mistake, especially three quarters. They run across. You could see the Kingswood sides, the difference in how they were running straight and creating that opportunity for their in three quarters to score, Sean. Here you see the opposite here. They're going, across the ground, and it does not make sense, and it does not have an opportunity for the other three quarters to create situations. And it is this is what is Ananda is lacking here. They are in a scoring situation, and they need to make and play rugby properly. The ball coming out on the fly half. That's a loop to the scrum half. Fullback joining in.
And a very slow loop, Ravi. It was almost going back. Now they're still going back. In fact, you saw that scrum and all the dust kicking up. Must be very difficult in that huddle. Here's Ananda now, still pressure ball for them. If they can move forward, they've actually gone back.
They seem to be a little more smaller in stature, Sean, so it's finding it difficult to penetrate the big three quarters of St. Peter's. St. Peter's have quite a big side, Sean, and I think with this, I wonder how they have not performed to expectation.
Ravi, I think you're going with the myth, mate, that big people or big boys will play good rugby. Doesn't always work. It depends on how efficient the team is together, and I don't think that's happened for St. Peter's. If you look and we talk about this, I know people at home are going to say, oh, they've started talking about this other school again, how boring. But it's a fact. Kingswood play such good rugby because they play as a team, Ravi. They play so efficiently in all departments. They're very clinical, they do their work, and they offload at the right time. Good support, very strong standing up. They don't hit the deck as often, and that's why you running straight, efficiency. It's all about being efficient.
But Sean, if you have a big side, it's always good to, it will be an advantage for the coach to train them with skill, and it will be ideal situation. Always size makes a difference when you are a three quarter. And it's good to have big players in the side, and if they are good in their skills, and if you can train them to think, it will be a winning combination.
I agree with you, mate, to a point, because actually having big three quarters is brilliant if they're quick and hard. If they're not, they're just lumbering jacks all over the place, big blobs of whatever around the park. But St. Peter's now
free kick to Ananda,
giving away the advantage again. Now these are the silly mistakes that cost teams points. Ananda didn't capitalize. What will they do now?
They're looking at a kick. Oh, they have short tap, a deep. Oh, that was a bad pass. Short punt. Let us see whether the St. Peter's they have defended.
It was just a kick and hope for something, Ravi. It wasn't a plan.
It was not a plan. It just came out. Another penalty for handling the ball on the ground. Quick tap by number 8. He goes through. Big forward driving through. That was Gayan Fernando. Anand, the number 8. Trying to penetrate the defense and knocked on.
Yes, I think a little bit of over-enthusiasm from Gayan. He couldn't control the ball.
Coming back to a big player, Shan, it was, I just remember back to your playing days, it was your size and advantage and your speed that was created the situation for you to, make some in three quarters look at you, having to just grasp thin air when they try to tackle you, because this was your size and the speed which you had that momentum to go through. So you will agree with me that it is a good combination for a player to be in an advantage situation.
I agree with you, Ravi. Here St. Peter's banging the ball up the park. Good pressure coming in from Ananda. Yes, it is important to have good pace. A little bit of weight helps. The game, of course, has changed dramatically now, Ravi. It's the bigger boys who are running more efficiently and quicker. When you see a prop breaking out of a loose ball and just hammering towards the blind side winger, things change dramatically.
Yeah, because that is basically due to the change of the law, Sean, from the ball. Now, if you see, the ball is mostly taken from the rucks, not the mauls. So because of the advantage situation of creating penalties, where the forwards going over, there you can see St. Peter's fly half kicking out for touch.
Here's Ananda now. Walk and talk. Good rolling maul. Have they gone to the deck? No, they're still up and they score! Brilliantly done by the number 8.
Gayan Fernando scoring that time.
Well, the hard work has paid off, Ravi. They've been here for the last 10 minutes. They've pitched up camp and put pressure on St. Peter's. Terrible clearance from the Pete Wright fly half, who couldn't get the ball away. The number 10, Dushan Kumara Peruma. And there's Gayan. Very well scored, Ravi. Nice try to see a big boy flying like that.
It's a good sign to have seeing a big number 8s playing for school sides. There's a big advantage when you have talented players with big stature, taking over positions, key positions like number 8. Here, see, Ananda got an opportunity and they have scored. But it was a situation where they had pushed over the St. Peter's pack, which looks much more heavier pack than the Ananda side. Here we see number 3, Johan Pereira, prop, taking the kick at goal.
Well, now this is something, it's a difficult task, Ravi, because when you have a prop come out, he spends his whole day in the middle with his head down in the dirt, trying to hold up another front row, and then he has to come out and try and convert as well. It's a hard task, isn't it, mate? I mean, you played prop. Would you like kicking conversions?
If you are a prop, Shan, if you're not doing your job and if you're just fudging, you can always do that. But if you are at the full, if the game, you are involved in the game and you're playing your heart out, it's very difficult.